Yo, what's going on, buddy? This is Don't Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what we're going to discuss is we're going to be talking about the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight coming up in July. I said that correctly. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to box. I'm not going to lie, whenever I saw this actually hit my phone, breaking news, I thought it was a joke. I said, hold up, is it April Fool's Day? What the hell is going on? But then I started looking into it and I was like, okay, this is real. This is a real fight. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are both going to box. They're going to be fighting on July 20th at AT&T Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Now, if this is going to be like an expedition, an actual fight, we'll read more into it as we kind of go through this article that I have pulled up. But a couple of things I want to talk about in this video. Number one, we're going to talk about the fight, kind of how it's going to work. Is it, like I said, is it expedition? Is it a real fight? We're going to talk about the way it's going to go, how I think it's going to go. If it is a real fight and these two are actually going to be going at it, how I see it going. And number two, I want to talk about Jake Paul because I've had my fair share of roasts on him in the past about how he doesn't fight real fighters. When he does fight real fighters, he fights guys that have been long retired, like we see now. We saw Anderson Silva. And don't get me wrong, here over the past year, I've kind of got more respect for Jake because he has started to fight a few real fighters. They're kind of past the prime, guys that aren't really that good, but they had good records, and Jake has been able to knock them out, so I have a little bit more respect for him now. So like I said, we're going to talk about the article that I pulled up, kind of discussing the way the fight's going to work and everything about the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight, and then we're also going to kind of talk about Jake Paul's record and his past opponents and kind of how they fare against what Mike Tyson is right now. And Mike Tyson, for all that you do not know, he's pushing almost 60 years old, so I'm not gonna lie, this is like a flip or flop on who you pick gonna win. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this. So if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, before I go any further, I want to let you guys know there's going to be two articles that I'm kind of pulling up here on screen. So if you want to go check either one of these websites out, feel free to do so. I'll put the links down in the description below. So like I said, if you want to check it out for yourself, feel free. All right, so as you can see, we have Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson set for July 30th, or it's July 20th, and it's actually going to be streamed on Netflix. It says down here, Tyson will face Paul in a boxing match July 20th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, in the main event of a card that will air on Netflix, officials told ESPN. It will be the streaming company's first foray into the combat sports, and it is the third live sporting event overall. Now, it does say here that it is unclear how the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, which sanctions and regulates combat sports in the state, will approach what will surely be a matchup that garners plenty of criticism and attention. It is yet to be determined whether it'll be classified as a pro fight or an expedition. Now, like I said, Mike Tyson, he's pushing almost 60 years old. It says here he's about 58. He'll be 58 at the time, whereas Jake Paul is only 27 years old. You look at those age gaps. Jake Paul, about 27. He's entering his prime, or could be prime. You have Mike Tyson, well past his prime. I'm not saying Mike Tyson can't fight, but I'm saying his prime was back when he was like I said, in his upper 20s, 30s, when he was kicking the living shit out of people. Now, for those of you who forget, Roy Jones and Mike Tyson had a fight back in 2020, and it was actually not, people said it was just going to be an expedition, but it was actually a real fight. Those two went at it. They had a good old-fashioned scrap. They were throwing punches. They were going at it. Now, this quote was actually from Mike Tyson himself, and it says here, quote, Paul has grown significantly as a boxer over the years, so it will be a lot of fun to see what the will and ambition of a kid can do with the experience and aptitude of a GOAT. He then goes on to say, quote, it's a full circle moment that will be beyond thrilling to watch, as I started him on his boxing journey on the undercard of my fight with Roy Jones, and now I plan to finish him, quote. So it seems like the way the fight's going, Mike Tyson is not somebody that's just going to go in there the way I think a lot of other fighters like Tyron Woodley, the Ben Askren, and all these other fighters, the Nate Robinson, the basketball player. I feel like all those guys, they were not really trying in their fights. Nate Diaz, you name them all, none of them were really capable of actually fighting Jake. Tyron Woodley, maybe, and then when we had Tommy Fury, who actually beat Jake on the scorecard. That was a good fight. And I have all of Jake's actual opponents here. He's currently 9-1 in his career, and you have every single opponent here. You have the first one, which is Ali Essen Gipp, which is actually a YouTuber. That one don't count in my opinion. You have Nate Robinson, like I said, the basketball player. That one does not count in my eyes. Like, you're fighting somebody who doesn't even box. Ben Askren, a wrestler. You were easily going to knock him out. Tyron Woodley, it was a good show, good fight, that first one. Then you fought him again. You actually KO'd him. Anderson Silva, I thought was going to be a good fight, but then whenever I realized he's a UFC fighter, plus also he's like pushing almost like 40 plus years old. Not exactly a real fight if you ask me. He fought Tommy Fury, and that was where we were all like, oh my god, he's actually fighting a real boxer. Tommy was young. He's Tyson Fury's brother. He was still learning the way of boxing, but it's a good fight because Jake, he's still learning. He's still young. Tommy's young. He's still learning, and they can kind of go out there and just see what happens. And Tommy got the best of him. Like I said, the Nate Diaz fight was nothing to show. He's a UFC fighter, UFC, not boxer. And then here recently, like I said, I kind of got a little bit more respect for Jake. He's fought in Ryan Borland and Andre August. So he's gotten a little bit of respect from me. And I realize Andre and Ryan, these two are not the best fighters just right now. Right here, you can see Andre August's fight card. He's 35, and you might think, Well, 35, that's not that old. You've seen fighters up push upwards 40 years old. Like, we see Mike Tyson trying to fight. But I think Andre was kind of more towards the outskirts of his career. He wasn't really trying much anymore, and Jake just caught the opportunity. And then whenever it came to Ryan Borland, like it shows, like he's got a good record. And that's the thing I think Jake's kind of going for. 17-3 looks good on paper. People will respect you. But whenever you look at the age, 35 years old, once again, another old fighter. What we want, and I think Jake knows it, and he's avoiding it, we want him to fight somebody. Jake is 27 years old. We want him to fight somebody who's anywhere from 24 to 29 years old, 24 to 30 years old, and we're not saying go fight somebody that's 38-0 or 50-0. We're saying go fight somebody that's 12-2. Go fight somebody that's maybe like a 7-0 or like a 18-5. Somebody who has like similar style record to what you are. Somebody who has the same experience. Somebody that we can like, that way you can grow as a fighter and you can earn some respect, you know? Now I'm going to kind of wrap it up by saying this. Jake, the thing I said it in a video a while back whenever I talked about Jake Paul and him being a YouTube fighter, even though now he's kind of moved over to where he's an official actual boxer now in pro boxing. He needs to earn the respect. Now I think this fight with Mike Tyson, it's gonna be good. I hope it's good. I don't expect Mike Tyson to be one of these other guys that's just gonna lay down, get his ass knocked out in the first round. That I do not fucking see happening. If this fight is scripted somehow and they end up making it to where, okay, hey Mike, I'm gonna throw a right hand, I'm gonna need you to fall down the ground, stay down, and I'm gonna win by knockout in the first round. Okay, cool. That is not happening. This fight is either going the distance or Mike Tyson is knocking the shit out of Jake. Now to clarify, like I said, we don't know if this is an expedition or a real fight just yet at the time of recording this. So if this ends up being an expedition, maybe they'll just dance around the ring for a little bit. But if this is an actual fight and this goes on the record for both of them for their careers, Mike is going to take this serious. And for those of you who have not seen Mike Tyson training in the gym, this dude is not taking it lightly. Even pushing 60 years old, this dude can still throw a punch hard enough to knock any one of us out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the videos I've seen of him online training right now, I'm not gonna lie, I almost wonder, is that him with makeup from 30 years ago looking like he's 60, or is that now? Because he looks the same. Now, like I said, with the actual fight, it's gonna be a good fight. I think we're gonna get a match for the making. Not legendary fight, but it's gonna be a good match. We're gonna see some punches thrown. We might see Jake actually go on the ground. We might see Mike go on the ground for all we know. Obviously, this fight is like 3 to 4 months away. It's a long ways away before we even get into any press conferences or anything. But like I said, it's gonna be a good show, and I guess wish both of them the best. But other than that, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you disagree or agree with anything I said, if you think Jake's gonna win, Mike's gonna win, if you like the idea of the fight, if you don't like the idea of them both fighting, what you think about the whole thing, leave a complete opinion down in the comment section down below. Be more than welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.